Welcome, everyone, to another edition of For Race Fans Only. We're here in Concord, North Carolina, at the home of Roush Racing. Our guest today, Chad Little, who drives the number 97 Ford on the NASCAR 2000 circuit. Before we talk to Chad, let's take a look at some great NASCAR collectibles. As we take a look at the different products that are coming your way on this edition of For Race Fans Only, here's the Terry Labonte 24-karat gold car done in 1/24 scale from Action Performance. You'll only find it here on For Race Fans Only with a worldwide distribution of 2,000 pieces. That's item number C30869. The Superman 1/64 scale 9-piece set in the comic book tin is brand new with a limited edition of 4,508. That's priced at $120. And the Dale Earnhardt Taz Color Chrome car, another For Race Fans Only exclusive from Action Performance. With only 3,508 ever made, Dale's car at Daytona never looked better. And a Ken Schrader Keep Back M&M 2-car set from Brookfield, limited edition of 2,000 set, one done in brushed metal, one with the traditional paint, only available here at For Race Fans Only. And from Team Caliper, your choice of the Jeff Burton or Mac Kenseth diecast for the year 2000. Great price. Item number here is C33994. Another great way of adding to your diecast collection here on For Race Fans Only. All right, you go ahead and get ready to get started. It's great to have you here. Our guest today, Chad Little. It's a real pleasure to have you sitting in the chair. How you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
I'll tell you what, this has already been an exciting year for 2000. There's some big things in the horizon. We're sitting here in a relatively new facility for Jack Roush Racing.
Brand new shop. We moved into the shop actually right after the Atlanta race last year. Came home from Atlanta, and the team was mostly moved in and finished that week and started building our cars out of here for the 2000 season.
You are partnered with Matt Kenseth. I mean, you're both under the same housing. Right. There's a new facility that's being built across the street as well.
Right, and that'll be where Jack operates his 5th Winston Cup team. I believe some of the Busch stuff will be out of there. Gears and transmissions. There's a lot going on to support 5 Winston Cup teams, so I know that the 16 car will be out of there for sure, and probably some of the other support things that go on.
What I'm trying to imagine, Chad, is with all the changeover in things like body style in the off-season, moving into the new shop, I mean, that's a lot for any team to handle. I mean, the work just never ends here, does it?
Oh, it certainly never ends. In fact, you know, for the crew members, the men and women that are involved in getting the cars ready for Daytona, it's tremendous. I mean, it never does slow down at all. And people talk about the off season. There really isn't an off season for them. It's a normal, maybe a 3 or 4 day vacation, and then it's back to the grindstone. It's you know, it's actually probably more work during the quote off season than it is once the season starts, because then it's maintaining the cars that you have built. But until the season starts, until you have a stable of 5, 6, 8 cars done, it's a lot of work, a lot more work for them than when the season is underway.
As we have an opportunity, we'll do this in a bit, to look around the shop. We're in the area that is what, your basic fabrication area, where you're finishing the cars up, getting them to be loaded into the trailer?
Actually, we would call this the finish area.
Finish area?
The fabrication side would be another area of the shop, and this would be after the cars are fabricated and built, where the final assembly is done and where they're actually set up and then taken into the truck and ready for the race.
How much is done at this facility for the 97 team? Motors built in-house?
No, actually our motors are built in Mooresville.
Okay.
So everything except the motors, gears and transmissions, those are built elsewhere and then shipped here.
The amount of activity here is absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you, we're going to talk more about the facilities and the year 2000 for NASCAR and Chad Little. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at a great NASCAR collectible. Part of the fun of collecting diecast is having something that's new and unique and different in very limited edition numbers. Here's C30869, Terry Labonte's 24-karat gold-plated car in a 1/24 scale. It's made only for Race Fans Only from Action Performance, and you'll find the detail to be impressive. Action Racing Collectibles has manufactured a car that has an opening hood, opening trunk design. You'll even find sticker tires from Goodyear underneath. The price, $129.25. The best part is only 2 ever to be produced, and when they're gone, they're certainly gone. They come in an acrylic case to keep them in pristine condition. This is definitely a top-end collectible at a very affordable price. Item number C30869, $129.25. That new body template for the year 2000 has been faithfully reproduced. And the color that's overlaid into the gold gives us the exact look of Terry Labonte's Kellogg Chevrolet that we see on the track on Sunday afternoons. Limited edition number again, just 2,000 pieces, and you'll find them only on for race fans only. To have yours, give us a call here at ESPN at 1-800-600-1500, and we've got more for race fans only coming your way in just a bit.
I bequeath my Pizza Hut empire to Teddy.
We're gonna create the ultimate pizza. Let's see some cheese. I want 6 kinds of cheese. Give me the toppings department. More toppings, more toppings. Everybody say ultimate.
The new Ultimate Cheese Pizza, loaded with the topping of your choice. 6 kinds of cheese, 50% more of it, and an incredible price. $8.99 medium, large, just $2 more.
But sir, that price. You like your job, money man?
Good price, sir. Excellent price. The Ultimate Cheese Pizza from Pizza Hut. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Picture this. A place down by the lake, front yard of crystal blue water, plenty of room for the kids, and, of course, the grandkids.
If you can picture the future, Nationwide can too. We offer financial services like mutual funds and retirement planning that fit your changing needs and help make your future everything you pictured. Nationwide. Insurance, financial services, on your side.
I love strawberries.
I love you.
Mozzarella, luscious toppings, a fresh baked crust. You invited a pizza delivery guy here? What kind of girl do you think I am?
But it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. I'll call you.
This is the base of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
Soccer fans, get ready for great MLS action. When you order MLS ESPN Shootout, you'll get up to 100 matches you can't see anywhere else. So bring the action home. Order now. Call your cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
And we're back again with Chad Little. Chad, the season's kicked off right now, doing well in the points. Are you satisfied with what we see so far, or are there bigger goals ahead?
We're certainly not satisfied, and there's definitely bigger goals ahead. You know, we feel that the John Deere team needs to find a victory circle this year. More top 10s, more top 5s, you know, the same goals that several of the other teams have, but we're ready for them. It's time to step up to the plate and deliver what we're capable of doing, and that's what we really concentrate on every week. That's what we have our meetings about with Jack and with Jeff, our crew chief, with the team, is what can we do to get one step closer each weekend.
You and Jeff Hammond have been together for a while. Jeff had phenomenal success in earlier years with DW, Darrell Waltrip. Great success throughout all of his racing career. There's been a real gelling personality-wise between you two.
Oh, we get along pretty good, and we cut up a lot, and you know, he's really good at trying to get out of me what I think I'm trying to say to him after coming in from a practice session. A lot of times I'm not sure what I'm saying, and you know, he has a good way of drawing that out of me. So yeah, it's good. You got to have a good rapport with your crew chief, with your chassis guy, with your shock people, and you got to have a good rapport with the whole team. And Jeff and I have, you know, after working together a couple of years now, we've developed a good relationship. He's a good friend.
And there's been some changeovers as far as the team itself, and so much as you are now headquartered with Matt as a partner inside. You were working out of almost an independent shop last year.
We were independent last year, although we were with Roush and we were one of the 5 teams. But this year we're under the same roof with Matt, and you know, that couldn't be any better for the John Deere team, because you know, Matt's going to be a phenomenal success in Winston Cup. He's a great qualifier, and it kind of, you know, when you're put in more competition, it kind of draws the best out of everybody, and it's like that no matter what you're doing, what your vocation is. So I think it's going to help the John Deere team all the way around. It's going to help me as a driver, and it's going to certainly require all of us to really pay attention and do the best we can.
Had a chance a little early before you and I spoke to see your crew out there in the back practicing pit stops and tire changes, and it's amazing how much of a team effort is coming out of this building.
Big choreographed operation.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, the MAPS team practices pit stops right before lunch. We practice pit stops at 3 to 4. So it's, you know, they work back and forth like that. Right now, they're down testing. And so some of our guys are helping them get ready for the next race. And that's kind of the way it works back and forth on a team.
It's the work during the middle of the week that affects the outcome on Racing Sunday. We'll talk more with Chad Little in just a bit as we continue for Race Fans Only. Before we do so, let's take a look at another great NASCAR collectible.
Item number C33055 is brand new to For Race Fans Only. It's our Superman 1/64 scale 9-piece set that comes in that collector's comic book tin. It's really different. If you remember that highly popular series of Superman rides featuring all the champions from 1998 in major North American series, well, here's the first time I've ever seen them captured with all of the cars or vehicles done in a 1/64 scale. And if you look, the paint is actually a little different. These are brushed metal pieces that are brought to us by Action Performance with a limited edition of only 4,508 sets. And the box itself is pretty cool. It looks like a great big DC Superman comic book. And inside, you'll find Jeff Gordon's Winston Cup car. We have John Forrest in the funny car, Joe Amata in the dragster, the Craftsman Truck Series with Ron Hornaday. Jimmy Vassar, his car is there for kart. The sprint cars that feature with Steve Kenzer. Warren Johnson in the NHRA Pro Stock. Even Matt Hines on the Pro Stock bike. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the Busch Grand National car. It's a beautiful set. Really is very, very well done. Limited edition, brand new to For Race Fans Only at a price of $120. Its item number is C33055. I like that you get all 9 drivers that made up the Champion Series for the Superman promotion for last year. And you get it in the collector's tin. Oh, and you get the Superman comic book as well.
We can see all our production schedules on one calendar.
We can share a document internally and with the client.
Now groups can compare schedule.
Post documents.
Collaborate.
Communicate.
Anytime, anywhere. Through your own private space on the web.
Your intranet.com site. It's easy. It's free.
Go to intranet.com.
And set up your secure site.
Intranet.com.
Get everyone on the same page.
For free. Forever.
Remember that Y2K thing? Neither do we. But as we stand on the brink of a new century, knowing one way or another we'll never live to see the end of it, we'd like to ask each and every one of you a very simple question. Shaken or stirred? Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. Call now for special room rates.
Doing a show is emotionally and physically exhausting. Afterwards, the last thing you want to do is talk to the media. But we're professionals. We do our job.
Like Dan doesn't step on everyone's lines every show, whether it's me or whether it's whatever the guy's name is used to the show. But, I mean, you know, he's always doing that, and it's his show.
Yeah, it's the greatest job in the world. That's what I tell you guys. But when I go home, I go into a little shell. I go down to my basement, and I sit there, and I just think. What am I doing with my life?
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new cable channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from around the world, including the UEFA Champions League. You'll see international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's CXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming. It's all on pay-per-view around the clock, all week long, and only on cable. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on. Then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
If you're just tuning in, welcome to For Race Fans Only. My name is Dan Hughes. It's great to have you with us this afternoon. We're here with Chad Little, part of the Jack Roush Racing stable. Your background may be one of the most diversified of any of the drivers that we've ever talked to. Now, you come from the West Coast, grew up in, it's Spokane, isn't it?
Right, Spokane, Washington.
Started racing, how old were you when you started racing?
15, 16 years old. A little later than I would have liked to, but at that time, that was a pretty early start.
Now, I understand, rumor has it, your first race car was actually a little Briggs & Stratton go-kart with a Corvette body?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was about 12 years old, maybe 10 or 11, and had won it playing slot machines, a video that time, and I didn't have it, but a few hours and knocked the front end of it off, ran into a tree in my grandparents' backyard. So that was not only the first race, not only the first car, but the first wreck all on the same day.
that you went to college, graduated, and actually went off to law school.
Went off to law school and struggled through that for 3 or 4 years and got my degree. I've never taken a bar exam, although I've been to several bars, as they say, but I've never taken the bar exam, and hopefully I'll never have to. You know, I've kind of prided myself on being able to make my living driving cars, and that's what I hope to continue to do for a long time.
At what point, Chad, did you realize that it wasn't going to be a law career for you?
Oh, it happened very early, like before I even went to law school. It was kind of by default that I ended up going to school, but my circumstances were dealt that way, and didn't want to quit after I started. And you know, really, it was it's tough growing up on the West Coast and then thinking to yourself, I'm going to move back east and try to race for a living when you don't know anybody, you don't have any contacts back here. And really racing out there for the most part is for a hobby. There's not really very many series out there that you can make your living at racing. So it was a long shot, and my parents were very instrumental in convincing me I needed something to fall back on.
But you had racing-related jobs even at an early age. I mean, you were at the track there in Spokane. You actually had a job, what, cleaning the concession stands at one time?
I grew up around a racetrack. My parents were promoters. My dad raced for about 10 years himself. He actually ran 2 Winston Cup races at Riverside back in the late 70s. So my dad raced, grew up around racing. Swept the track, did the ambulance work as far as driving it, drove the pace car a lot. I even did a little flagging. You know, mostly it was track cleanup, though, in the younger days before I was old enough to drive.
To take those days from cleaning the concession stand to seeing the name Chad Little on the roofline of a 97 Ford has got to be a good feeling. We'll be back with more with Chad Little here at Roush Racing in just a second. Before we do that, we'll take a look at one more great NASCAR collectible. One car that's probably been talked about more than any other in the early part of the year 2000 NASCAR season has been Dale Earnhardt's Taz car that he drove at Daytona. Well, you've never seen it quite like this. This is C30848, the Dale Earnhardt Taz color chrome car featured in the 124 scale from Action Performance. At $59.75, this limited edition piece is completely different than anything we've seen in Diecast earlier in our season. That limited edition run, 3,504 pieces, and that's it. The car was made only for the For Race Fans Only audience, and the reason for it is the original car that had been featured earlier in the season is completely sold out for us. We simply cannot get them back in. But this one is unique. That color chrome finish brings to life that bright red paint that we saw on the track at Daytona, and you'll see that Tasmanian Devil on lots of TV commercials with Dale coming up a little later on in the year. An exclusive product of For Race Fans Only, opening hood design, opening trunk as well, and all the detail that you just come to expect with ARC, Action Racing Collectibles from Action Performance. That unique color chrome paint design will not be seen anywhere else. You can get yours by giving us a phone call here on For Race Fans Only at ESPN. And we've got more of our interview and more of our show coming your way after we take a short break.
Here's the defense to be facing Sunday.
Hey, that's Terrell's mom.
Hey, Terrell, he's eating chunky soup.
Hi, baby. You always loved that chunky chicken noodle. Well, now it's heartier than ever to fill you up right with big chunks of chicken and veggies and bigger noodles.
Oh, man.
Now, this is a trading film.
Campbell's Chunky Chicken Noodles.
It's better than ever.
There's one question my Italian family loves to answer.
So what's new?
They've got a million things to tell you. Tonight, you'll hear all about what's new at Olive Garden. Parmesan crusty chicken. I never tasted anything like this. They lightly bread the chicken with Parmesan cheese and sauteed in a creamy white wine sauce. It's so good, I could eat it every night. Now, the next question is, what will Sally name her new baby? Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Tonight on ESPN at 7 Sports Center, at 7:30 at 64 to the Sweet 16, at 8 the Rangers Penguins, and 11 the Lake Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 7, 9, and 11 the second round of the Women's College Basketball Tournament, plus continuous scores and breaking news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic at 7 Click and Pick, Luck of the Irish at 9 Real Classics, followed by Wilma Rudolph Sports Century Profile. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
We're back once again. Hello there, I'm Dan Hughes. We're here in Concord, North Carolina at the home of Roush Racing. I've had the toughest time just getting the word Concord out of my mouth and saying it right. Our guest today is Chad Little. In our last segment, we were talking a little bit about growing up in Spokane. At what age did you know that this was what you wanted to do, that you were going to drive race cars for a living?
I raced Southwest or Northwest Tour. It was actually called NWSSA for a little bit, and then it went to Northwest Tour. I ran in that for about 3 years, and then I ran in Winston West. And I think it was during racing Winston West where I had a chance to run down Riverside and meet some of the Cup drivers that I was just old enough to maybe realistically say what I wanted to do for a living and be serious about it. And I had a lot of support from family and friends. I was surrounded by a lot of good people all the time, and that's what made it possible. And support by mom and dad mainly. And that opened the door to a few things to come back here. So probably 25, 26 years old.
You won the Winston West Championship back in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. So you've had a lot of success on the racetrack, but that is still a huge move, as you had talked about, moving south. You were one of the first guys who moved from outside of the Southeast to become a Winston Cup driver.
Yeah, myself and another guy from Washington was Derek Cope. I think we were one of the first couple people that really did break that traditional Southeast mold. There probably were some others, but I know that we were one of the first ones, and it was a cold move. It really was. I didn't know anybody, didn't have any contacts, and what ended up happening is, as a lot of drivers have made their first relationship, was with Jeannie Donlevy in the 90 car, and he opened a lot of doors for me and gave me some really good opportunities that grew into other things, so I owe a lot to him for the start of my career.
There is still a very firm sense of home, though, for you back in Spokane. There's an organization of people that are wonderful people back there that you work with to provide some time and some charity help with.
Oh, I'm involved in a charity called Vanessa Behan Crisis Center, and it's a child abuse and neglect center, and it's actually my favorite high school teacher's wife, follow that one, runs the center, and that's how the relationship started. So Spokane's still my home. I call it home. I have a house there, and I visit as often as I can. I mean, that's how I get to do my snow skiing in the wintertime, so.
We'll be talking a little bit about that in our next segment, but I know that you were recently back there, back at the beginning of the year. It was end of January or so for one of the benefits of the organization.
We have an annual fundraiser. This year we tied it into one of the Spokane Chiefs hockey game, which is similar to the East Coast Hockey League out in this area. And one of my high school friends and college friends was Mark Rippon, who played for the Redskins and actually owned the Bush team that I drove for a couple of years. He does it every year with me, and we raised $12,000, $15,000, $16,000 for the charity, and we've done it annually now for the last 4 years.
It's a good cause to be a part of. We've got more with Chad Little coming your way in just a second. Let's take a look at another great NASCAR collectible here on For Race Fans Only. One of the nicest guys on the NASCAR circuit is Ken Schrader. We were able to capture the car we saw on February 20th this year at the Daytona 500 in perfect die-cast order. See 30841. Ken Schrader's keep-back car. Now, what made this car so unique, if you look at the rear bumper, you'll see the little M&M holding up the sign that says keep back, new driver, as he replaced Ernie Irvan in the M&M's car. Now, this set also includes a brushed metal design that you will not find anywhere else. It was made exclusively for the For Race Fans Only audience. These sets come to us from Brookfield in a limited edition number of only 2,000 sets. You get the car as we saw at Daytona, faithfully reproduced in exact color, and the new brushed metal design, and each one of these cars has an opening hood design. That's new for Brookfield for the year 2000. And once again, only available here at For Race Fans Only. The price for the set, $89.75. It's C30841. Ken is one of the most entertaining and hard-driven drivers in all of NASCAR. Always someone that's lots of fun to deal with. Here's a car that entertains the sense of humor that Ken carries with him all the time. That little insignia on the back that says, keep back, new driver. We'll see more of Ken later this year and more fun with M&M's as a primary sponsor. And you'll see more For Race Fans Only again in just a moment after we take this short break.
I
love you.
Mozzarella, lettuce toppings, a French baked crust? You invited a pizza delivery guy here? What kind of girl do you think I am?
But it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
I'll call you.
Get ready. Here comes the biggest, boldest player of the Colonel sandwich lineup. A spicy triple crust stinger. Not one, not two, but 3 big strips of white meat chicken. This baby's huge. Booyah! Then add the spice, the Colonel's secret zinger sauce. Wow!
You want taste? It's Chew too. Is this the biggest folded chicken sandwich out there? Find out. Try the spicy triple crunch zinger today for just $1.99. And do chicken right.
Kari Webb is tearing it up in 2000. Will she defend her crown in the desert, or will one of these other sharpshooters catch fire in Phoenix? The Standard Register Pay continues today at 5 on ESPN.
We're glad you joined us here on For Race Fans Only. We've got more of our interview with Chad Little coming your way in just a moment. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at one more great NASCAR collectible.
Matt Kenseth fans and Jeff Burton fans will love the next item available here for Race Fans Only. It's item number C33994 from Team Caliper, your choice of 124 scale die-cast cars. Team Caliper is a company that's only been around for a couple years, and when you're a newcomer on the block in the world of die-cast, you better do it better than everybody else, otherwise people just don't notice. Well, Team Caliper is an independently owned Jack Roush associate, and whenever Jack Roush is involved with anything, you know the quality is going to be great. Take a look at the detail on the paint on the Jeff Burton car or the Matt Kenseth design, and then you'll start noticing little fine details like all-metal chassis. You'll see the rotors behind the wheel. You'll see flexible ductwork for cooling actually inside the automobile. And if you flip open that hood, there's everything. The ignition wires are visible. That 22-gallon fuel cell is visible in the trunk. And here's one of my favorites. If you flip it upside down, you can actually see attached to where the 22-gallon fuel cell is located a tiny little transponder. And that's how they use in Winston Cup the technology with the computers to track exactly how fast the cars are going. And I've never seen that on diecast before. Great price, your choice of the Jeff Burton or the Matt Kenseth diecast. The item number is C33994. Only Team Calipers can bring you that type of quality. We're really pleased to have them as part of our For Race Fans Only family. Pick yours up while you get a chance. Let's take a look at all the other items that are still available in our For Race Fans Only show. The Terry Labonte 24-karat gold car from ARC. That's an action racing collectibles, limited to only 2,000 pieces worldwide. Great price, $129.25. And the Superman tin. Inside, you'll find all 9 pieces in 1/64 scale, featuring all the Superman of last year's promotion, the champions from their independent racing organization. To C33055. And the Dale Earnhardt Taz Color Chrome car. That's available only here on For Race Fans Only. It's only 3,508 ever to be produced. Here's your chance to pick yours up. And then the Ken Schrader Keep Back M&M 2-car set from Brookfield. Limited edition of 2,000. You've got yours here at a great price of $89.75. We're back again with Chad Little. Chad, you didn't get a lot of time in the off-season to enjoy outside interests outside of racing, but it seems even your outside interests involve adrenaline at one stage or another.
I'm a big snow skier. I grew up snow skiing in Spokane, Washington, and we used to go on an annual ski trip. This year we went to the Bugaboos, just outside of Banff National Park in Calgary area, and we went helicopter skiing and had a great time. And about 3 or 4 guys from college and some friends from high school, and it was literally it was a kick in the pants. It was a little intimidating at first, but they shuttle you up in a helicopter. You get out, do your deal, and they pick you back up and take you to the top again. And it's 3 or 4 of those, and your day is over. I mean, you are literally done. You're tired.
Talk a little bit about what's ahead in the year 2000, your hopes, your aspirations for the 97 team. Where do you want to be at the end of the season?
I would really like to see this team top 10, 12, 13 in points. First win under the belt, a handful of top 10s and a handful of top 5 finishes throughout the year, and just a team that's poising itself to someday in the next couple of years be a contender for the championship.
The relationship you have with Jeff Hammond, your crew chief, the teamwork that you're working with Matt Kenseth, this is a year that those goals and aspirations are very plausible.
Oh, it's important. It's they're not only plausible, it's important. The time is here, so it's we got to go. Let's go.
You're ready, aren't you?
I'm ready.
I'll tell you what, it's an absolute pleasure, and I know it's a busy time of year for you. Thank you for making yourself available to be on the program.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Little. We'll be seeing you once again on the road as we continue with For Race Fans Only. My name is Dan Hughes. We thank you for joining us here in Concord, North Carolina at the home of Roush Racing with our very special guest, Chad Little. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. If you've enjoyed today's show,
Take an opportunity to look for race fans only each Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on QVC, where you'll find more great NASCAR collectibles. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.